أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. تكاد تميز من الغيظ كلما ألقي فيها فوج سألهم خزنتها ألم يأتكم نذير قالوا بلى قد جاءنا نذير فكذبنا وقلنا ما نزل الله من شيء إن أنتم إلا في ضلال كبير وقالوا لو كنا نسمع أو نعقل ما كنا في أصحاب السعير صدق الله العظيم. So, dear students, today we will look at the meaning of these three verses, inshallah, part by part. I will read the meaning part by part. I will repeat sometimes and make sure you memorize the whole meaning part by part at home, inshallah. So let's start. Takadu tamayyazu, it will almost burst into pieces. So if I take tamayyazu, tamayyazu literally means it will burst into pieces. Yeah. Taqatta'u. Tamayyazu originally was tatamayyazu. The original form of tamayyazu is tatamayyazu. One ta from here is deleted to make it easy. And things like this happen throughout the whole Quran. So, and not just the whole Quran, in Arabic language as well. So, tatamayyazu. Tamayyazu means it will almost, it will burst into pieces. And when we add takadu, it gives the meaning of being, nearly or almost about to happen. So takadu tamayyazu, it will almost burst into pieces. Takadu tamayyazu, it will almost burst into pieces. This is what takadu tamayyazu means, literally, as a sentence. But as you can see, I put as if in the brackets. Why? Why did I put as if here? I mean, you are not allowed to add things to the Quran. Yeah, this is the text of the Quran, but there is a context. If you look at the previous ayah or the previous verses, not just one ayah, previous verses, that the context demands this phrase here to be, here, as if. So basically, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talked about the hellfire. Yeah, إِذَا أُلْقُوا فِيهَا سَمِعُوا لَهَا شَهِيقًا وَهِيَ تَفُورُ. When they are thrown into the hellfire, they will hear this hell, the Jahannam, making a terrible sound, a roar, while it is boiling with rage. Out of anger, it will be kind of boiling. Yeah, and so much so that as if this Jahannam, this hellfire, will burst into pieces out of strong, extreme form of anger. So just like we say, this person is so angry that he will burst into pieces out of anger. Yeah, when we speak, we say it like this. Even in Bengali, we have things like this. Yeah, I mentioned it before. It's funny, so I don't want to mention it here in the recording. Yeah, you know what I mentioned. So he is so angry, and you know the rest. So anyway, we use this kind of expressions. So the because of the context, I added as if. Yeah, and it's not from myself; it's from the tafsir of the Quran. Okay, so that's why when we translate this verse, we will say takadu tamayyazu, as if. Yeah, to take care of the context, we will add this text, as if in the brackets. Takadu tamayyazu, as if it will almost burst into pieces. Takadu tamayyazu, as if it will almost burst into pieces. The meaning is, will it burst into pieces? I mean, the question is, will the Jahannam burst into pieces? The answer is no. It will almost, meaning it will nearly burst into pieces, but it won't. Yeah, the expression is like this. This is how the Jahannam will be. Yeah, will be so angry, so angry. to punish the criminals. Okay, why? Minal ghayzi, out of extreme wrath. Wrath, anger, rage, similar words, yes, synonymous. So extreme anger. Minal ghayzi, out of extreme wrath. Minal ghayzi, out of extreme wrath. By the way, you make sure you don't say wrath. It's not wrath, yeah, unless you are from Africa. So it's wrath, wrath. Minal ghayzi, out of extreme wrath. Kullama ulqiya fiha fawjun. And as you can see, I have color coded the whole text, so you can easily follow the meaning with the text. So the black part goes for the black part, and the red part goes for the red part. So it's easy to follow along. Kullama ulqiya fiha fawjun. Kullama literally means whenever, every time. Ulqiya, yeah, was flung. According to the context, we will say is flung. As I mentioned in the lesson, in Arabic, sometimes because of the context, the past tense changes into future. It happens. Yeah, and there are some examples in English as well, not a lot. So ulqiya was flung, but in this case, we will say is flung. Fiha, into it, fawjun, a group. And you found fawjun in Sooratul Nasr. Yadkhuluna fi dinillahi afwaja. Fawj, the plural is afwaj. So crowd, one crowd and many crowds. Kullama, whenever, ulqiya is flung. Yeah, because of the kullama, we are changing this past tense verb into present. Ulqiya is flung, fiha, into it, fawjun, a group. So together, kullama ulqiya fiha fawjun, whenever a group is flung into it. See, every English part I'm saying, I'm pointing at the corresponding Arabic part. This is how you should practice at home. Kullama ulqiya fiha fawjun, whenever a group is flung into it. Kullama ulqiya fiha fawjun, whenever a group is flung into it, is thrown into it. Sa'alahum khazanatuha. Let's understand the word. Khazanatun is the plural of khazin, meaning a guard, someone who takes care of something. Ha, it or its. Now sa'ala, he asked. Whom is them? He asked them. But the fa'il is khazana, so the guards asked them. Khazanatuha means its guard, its guards, plural, meaning the guards of the hellfire. And know that the hellfire is not left alone. There are guards. If you are thrown into the hellfire, you can't escape. You can't run away from the hellfire. They will catch you and throw you back into the hellfire. So there is no exit. Yeah, you just enter. There is no exit. There are guards on the exits, so you can't go out. Khazanatuha, its guards. Sa'alahum, asked them. The word is in the past, but because of the context, we will change into the future. We will change it into the future. So the meaning will be, its guards will ask them. Sa'ala will give the meaning of yas'alu. So its guards will ask them. Sa'alahum khazanatuha, its guards will ask them. Sa'alahum khazanatuha, its guards will ask them. Them referring to the people of the hellfire, those who entered it. Alam ya'tikum nadhir. Nadhirun, a warner. Ata ya'ti, to come. Yeah, so ya'ti, he comes. Lam ya'ti, he didn't come in the past. Lam ya'ti, he didn't come. Alam ya'ti, didn't he come? Kum, to you. Yeah, when you say kum, you don't need to say ilaykum. So alam ya'tikum, didn't he come to you? And we are not going to say he because we have Nazir mentioned here. So alam ya'tikum nadhir, didn't a warner. Nazir is a warner. So didn't a warner come to you? Alam ya'tikum nadhir, didn't a warner come to you? Or didn't any warner come to you? Same. Alam ya'tikum nadhir, didn't any warner come to you? Alam ya'tikum nadhir, didn't any warner come to you? Good. Let's go. Qalu, they will say. Again, qalu means they said, but because of the context, it is they will say, like yaqulun. Qalu, they will say, bala, yes. Yeah, meaning yes, a warner did come to us. It's mentioned here. Qad, indeed, like definitely, certainly, for sure. All those words can be taken. Qad, indeed. Qad, indeed. Ja'a, came, na, to us. So ja'ana came to us, meaning he came to us. Ja'a means he came. Ja'ana, he came to us. Nadhirun, a warner. So altogether we will say Ja'ana nadhir, a warner came to us. Ja'ana nadhir, a warner came to us. Ja'ana nadhir, a warner came to us. If you put it together, Qad ja'ana nadhir, indeed a warner came to us. Yeah, meaning there is no doubt that a warner came to us. فَكَذَّبْنَا وَقُلْنَا. But. Yeah, I mean, a warner came to us, warned us, told us not to do things and do other things. But what did we do? We denied. كَذَّبْنَا, we denied. Him is not mentioned, but understood. So I put him in the brackets. But كَذَّبْنَا, we denied him, وَقُلْنَا, and said. So فَكَذَّبْنَا وَقُلْنَا, but we denied him and said. فَكَذَّبْنَا وَقُلْنَا, and but we denied him and said. مَا نَزَّلَ اللَّهُ. Yeah, مَا نَزَّلَ, he didn't send down, and Allah, the word is, the fa'il is mentioned, so we will say, مَا نَزَّلَ اللَّهُ, Allah didn't send down. مَا نَزَّلَ اللَّهُ, Allah didn't send down. So didn't is ma. Ma nazzalallahu, Allah didn't send down. What? Min shay'in, anything. Anything. Yeah. Min shay'in, anything. Literally anything. So we said Allah didn't send down anything. In antum. This in the meaning of la or ma. Yeah, ma is negative. It's not if. There's another in that means if. This in means no. Not. It's a negative in. So in antum, you are not. In antum, you are not. In antum, you are not. And remember, this kind of in only comes before illa. So we have illa here. That's how we know this in is in the meaning of ma. A negative in. In antum, you are not. In antum, you are not. Illa, except fi, in, dalalin is deviation, the wrong path. Kabir is a big, something great. So in a negative sense here. So illa fi dalalin kabir, but in a great deviation. Illa fi dalalin kabir, but in a great deviation. In a great deviation. Fi, in, kabir, great deviation. I mean, dalal is deviation. Yeah, deviation, as I mentioned, is the wrong path, not the right path. So in antum, you are not. Illa fi dalalin kabir, but in a great deviation. In antum, you are not. Illa fi dalalin kabir, but in a great deviation. The last ayah. وَقَالُوا, and they will say. Again, qalu in the meaning of yaquluna because of the context. وَقَالُوا, and they will say. لَوْ كُنَّا نَسْمَعُ, if we had listened to. لَوْ كُنَّا نَسْمَعُ, if we had listened to. If we had listened to, past perfect, remember this. لَوْ كُنَّا نَسْمَعُ, if we had listened to. أَوْ نَعْقِلُ, or used our intellect. أَوْ نَعْقِلُ, or used our intellect. أَوْ نَعْقِلُ, or used our intellect. Meaning, or we had used our intellect. So لَوْ كُنَّا نَسْمَعُ, if we had listened to. أَوْ نَعْقِلُ, or used our intellect. مَا كُنَّا, we wouldn't have been. مَا كُنَّا, we wouldn't have been. فِي أَصْحَابِ السَّعِيرِ, amongst the people of the blazing fire. Sa'ir is blazing fire. Ashab is the meaning of people. Is in the meaning of people. Fi is amongst, in, amongst. So fi ashab sa'ir, amongst the people of the blazing fire. I'm gonna go over it once again, simply translating part by part without any interpretation. Takadu tamayyazu, as if it will almost burst into pieces. Minal ghayzi, out of extreme wrath. Kullama ulqiya fiha fawjun, whenever a group is flung into it. Sa'alahum khazanatuha, its guards will ask them, Alam ya'tikum nadhir, didn't any warner come to you? Qalu bala, they will say, yes. Qad, indeed, ja'ana nadhir, a warner came to us. Fakadhabna wa qulna, but we denied him and said, Ma nazzalallahu, Allah didn't send down. Min shay'in, anything. In antum, you are not. Illa fi dalalin kabir, but in a great deviation. وَقَالُوا, and they will say, لَوْ كُنَّا نَسْمَعُ, if we had listened to, meaning listen to that person, أَوْ نَعْقِلُ, or used our intellect, مَا كُنَّا, we wouldn't have been في أصحاب السعير, amongst the people of the blazing fire, which is the hellfire. And with this we will finish. Make sure you memorize it properly and listen to, watch and listen to this video again and again and again until you correctly and perfectly memorize it and understand it. Okay. Assalamu alaikum.